just gonna listen to the music. Welcome to Geek the F Out, as we're doing Stranger Geeks, our rewatch of Stranger Things. I'm Johnny. That's Silver K.
I'm muted.
On mute.
Hello, everyone.
Greetings. How's
Greetings.
everybody?
Hope everyone's having a spoopy evening. We are here to talk about Season 1, Episodes 3 and 4 of Strangerthings. Are y'all ready? Strangerthings. Are we ready to get spoopy? I'm always ready. I got my spoopiness going. I got 2 out of the 4 boys Ghostbusters. I have the other 2 to put together, so I am good to go.
Wasn't that didn't they do the Ghostbusters costumes
in season 2?
Season 2?
Yes, be quiet. You shut your mouth. Also, I did the lights for my makeup because we finally saw the lights this episode, which I swear happened later in the season. And so I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I got to do the lights this time because they happened.
That was something that, because spoilers, as you may have heard on other streams, I ended up getting hooked and I've watched all of it already.
Told you. He was like, after we watched the first 2, he was like, they're okay. And I'm like, sure, Jan. And then the next thing I know, he's texting me, he's like, so I'm already halfway through The Fall of the House of Usher, and I finished all of Stranger Things, and I watched all of Loki. I'm like, that's what I thought. That is what I thought. Anyway, should we say hi to the people?
Yes, I was literally just going to say the same thing.
We're on the same wavelength. Are we L?
Maybe. Oh, but I was going to say that was one of the things I thought of as I was watching it, like that I was surprised at how
the lights.
Well, just how quickly things were progressing.
It escalated quickly.
I did read that like the pacing was one of the things that people were complimenting the show for, and I think that shows now that I've watched the whole thing. But yeah, let's say hi to people.
Hi, people.
Hi, people. We're done. There you go. Now, Quip is here. Hello, Quip. Hello, Cobweb. Hello, Thanos. Derek Hoover. Hello.
What up? What up? Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Our punctual people.
Yeah, I'm sure more people will trickle in as the evening goes on. But thanks for joining us. And if you're watching it on
late.
And if you're watching us on the replay, thanks for watching. Yeah, shall we get into it?
Yes.
All right. So episode 3 is titled Holly Jolly, which I was like, oh, it's for the kid. That's right. It's Holly Jolly. I don't think I realized that when I first watched this like years ago.
I was just thinking
Mike's younger sister is Holly.
Yeah. I was just thinking of the song, that's a Holly Jolly Christmas.
So yeah, it plays into that obviously too with the lights, but it's also because Holly has her encounter with the Demogorgon.
Mm-hmm.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun. Sort of.
Kind of, yeah. Through a wall. There was like a wall in between them. A wall between worlds. The world between worlds. Actually, kind of similar concept, but not really. I don't know.
Sort of, and we'll talk about that later as well.
We still don't really know what the Upside Down is. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. It is technically a parallel universe, but I don't know if we've ever gotten like an exact answer. I don't know.
I'll talk about that in memes because one of my memes is directly related to the Upside Down and what it is.
What it memes?
Yeah.
What
do you mean?
So yeah, we see more of the Upside Down at the very beginning of this episode. Barb is in the Upside Down, and R.I.P. Barb. And we get a glimpse of the demo too. very
Yeah,
clips, which I think is the first clips that we've gotten of him, her, them. I think so. Just say yes.
Yes, sure. These are my notes. Literally, Barb! Exclamation point. Barb's in blank. We'll talk about that later. And then Barb's dead for real now.
Yeah, I know. I remember when I first watched this and I was like, oh, I have hope. Maybe she'll be alive. And then it's like, nope, zero hope. She's gone. She is kaput. Yeah, so let's take a moment of silence for Barb. Hashtag justice for Barb. That's good.
Okay.
But
Barb.
the awkwardness of that scene being cut between Nancy and Steve.
Yes, it was a very lots of dichotomy there with the difference between like Barb getting mauled, eaten, I don't know, I guess eaten by the Demogorgon, and Nancy getting railed. And like then
railed? Why would you use that word? Poor Nancy.
It's just the one that popped into my mind. Because like the next morning, my next note after Barb's dead for real now is just in all capital letters, regret, because it seemed like Nancy was full of regret for boning Steve. Hashtag
well,
what?
yeah, and she was just kind of overthinking it. A wee bit. I think she there was definitely some paranoia in, you know, her thinking that everyone else knows what happens, which is such a teenager thing that without someone telling everyone else, and also just like this weird stigma with the first time you have sex or whatever, that everyone's gonna know. Like you're gonna look different, like people are just gonna know by looking at you, which is stupid. But yeah, and of course her mom catches her coming home and she's like, nothing happened, which that continues throughout the episode, and she, you know, ultimately tells her mom, but it's really fucking stupid because it literally has nothing to do with Barb, and yet that's what her mom focuses on. And I'm like, that is such a parent/mom thing to do. Just like focus on the fact that your child had sex and not the fact that, you know, her best friend is missing. Could be dead.
I did,
and also
write...
just shows the shit parents that the Wheelers are.
So I actually wrote capital letters lies, and then okay, the Wheeler mom is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place with her kids. I'm starting to think maybe they're getting a bad rap because she's literally telling them talk to me, and they don't. They fucking lie to her constantly, and that's what gets them in trouble. Is like the lying. Like that's why she gets upset with them, because she knows they're lying. She just wants them to talk to her. They won't talk to her. Would she also act
that part of it?
Like, would she also be like judgmental and very shitty mom if they told her the truth? We don't know. The kids didn't give her the chance to like show how she would act if they talked to her and told her the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I guess not. I guess we'll never know. Yeah, I think that that's definitely a part of it. I'm not gonna, like, you're right. You're not wrong. But you'll see. It kind of just becomes a thing, especially as the seasons go on. And I know you've watched the rest of this season, so yeah. I think in the first season they kind of toe the line, but because the Wheeler parents did do some shit things, I think they really like played into it the next few seasons. Like it became a thing.
There's something else near the end of the episode that I'll get into too that I just dislike in general, but we'll talk about it when we get. It's like the last thing in the episode.
Yeah. So Derek says, I think Mrs. Wheeler is in constant state of trying to be a good mom, being there for her kids, but yeah, they lie, and Mr. Wheeler, oh boy, yeah, Mr. Wheeler is just non-existent.
Yeah, he's very disconnected, and like
Mm-hmm.
I get it. The kids themselves, it's no win situation for everybody involved, because when you're a kid like that,
Yeah.
you think everything is the end of the world and that your parents are going to like not understand and punish you. So you don't even give them the
Mm-hmm.
chance to show that they can understand.
Yeah. Which I mean, we've all fucking been there.
Yeah, there's a reason that I'm child free and continue to be child free.
Sure, that's the reason.
There's many reasons. That's just one of them.
No, I get it. I have no idea yet, but I don't care either way. That's just me. Anyways, so the next scene, oh, poor Joyce this episode. She is just like, oh, really going through it. And then, you know, things just get worse and worse for her too, obviously, especially at the end of this episode. But, you know, Jonathan wakes up and he just sees Joyce talking to the lights in Will's room, and I think that would be the reaction of anyone. They'd be like, are you okay? Like,
yeah, I have this written down in this episode and the next episode. Like, Barb or Joyce seems nuts, and if we didn't see like what was happening with her, like we would probably think the same thing. But we've seen the shit that she's seen, so we know she's not nuts. But she absolutely seems like she is off the fucking deep end.
Indeed. I just put, speaking of Will, just put William together, which is a spoiler alert. He's obviously alive in the second season.
Well, yeah. I mean, I knew he wasn't dead, even though I've watched the thing, and I wrote like the end of the episode. I mean, if you don't mind jumping around a little bit, they drag his body out of the quarry, and I'm like, that's not Will. Like, I wrote it down. Like, that's not Will.
I think when I first watched it, I definitely was like, there's no way, especially on the third episode. I was like, there's absolutely no way this kid is already dead. Like, I don't believe it for 1 second. And turns out he was right. Oh, his wand is very erect. We don't need that.
That's what they
I know.
said. Yeah, Derek's like, Will's alive. What? Spoilers. He says JK.
Yeah. Sorry guys, but should have probably watched this by now.
Yes.
You know, only took Johnny 8 years, 7 years, whatever it's been. Oh God, stand on your own, sir. I know you're in the upside down and like you should get some leeway, but you just stand. Here. Okay, so then the kids, the three amigos, as I'm calling them, plus L, get ready to face the Demogorgon. And fucking Lucas's wrist rocket.
Yeah.
I died at that terminology. And I was like, of course Dustin got snacks. Like, no one is surprised.
My brother had one of those slingshots when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. That's cute. And then Dustin tries to test Elle's power by dropping the Millennium Falcon toy, which was that the Kenner one? Because when I looked it up. Hi, Allison.
I don't know. I'm not sure which one it was.
Yeah.
I didn't look into it.
This
like
poor
I wasn't.
Toy.
Yeah, it got dropped like 3 times.
I literally cringed, and I'm like, any other time I've watched this did not have that reaction, and now I'm like, ooh, oh
yeah,
no.
I'm like, I hope that's not vintage.
Yeah. Well, this is 1984, so it's not vintage yet. But or 83.
I mean, for the filming, 83. I hope the prop that they were using for the filming wasn't an actual vintage Falcon that they dropped like how many times, depending on how many takes they had to use.
See,
Quip.
happen to quip, and he doesn't even collect Star Wars. See, which it was almost not quite the same reaction, but similar to the reaction of actually 2 instances this year. One with the Joffreys and Jacob ripping open Craig's ecto glows, or one of them, and then also Spider-Verse when Gwen opens up one of Miles' toys. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Derek. That's one of those scenes where you know it's a reproduction, but all you think is some kid isn't the is of
I think he
some
meant
kid
in the
isn't
80s.
he in the 80s beating the shit out of the Falcon, and you think, what are you doing? Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, at least toys back then were
That's
pretty
fair.
solid.
Speaking of toys,
Yeah, it's very solid.
He-Man shows up on the TV.
Yeah.
And
that was in my memes.
Castle Grayskull was in Will's bedroom in the last episode, and I forgot to mention it. Like, I caught it.
Oh shit, I missed it.
Yeah, it was on
I'm so sad I missed it.
It was on the shelf. Like when he was looking out the window when I think his parents were coming home. Him and 11 were in his bedroom, and someone was coming home, and there was Castle Grayskull on the. I have the. Ooh. I screenshotted it. Here, hang on.
Share it. Now I'm gonna be really sad I missed it, but I'm gonna have to watch all these again because I have to do That's What They Said at the very end. So I will find it next
It's
time.
right here.
Wow, that's so dark. I'm gonna make the screen big because wow, you're a nerd.
I noticed like it was only on screen for like a second. And I was like, oh, yeah. Hey, there it is. That's Grayskull.
I think you got your nerd card with that one. Or your geek card, sorry. Our channel is called Geek That Out. Come on. Gotta get it right. Yeah. Anywho.
I mean, I had it. That just gave me another renewal. Like an extension.
Oh yeah, so then he tells Elle to meet them by the power lines after school. And then, yeah, once again, Nancy is like paranoid that everyone knows. The fucking, not the deputy, but like one of the other cops that works with Hopper, he's like Reagan's Star Wars?
Yeah.
Like, why is it Reagan's? Is that a thing?
Oh, yeah. No, because so Reagan came up with this like satellite system to destroy missiles that they called Star Wars. I'm pretty sure they named it after the movie, but it was literally it was literally a defense initiative named Star Wars, and it was put into effect by President Reagan. Yep.
That is hilarious. Did not know that. Learn
that's
something
like
new every day.
The NASA Space Shuttle Enterprise was originally, I think, Columbia, and Star Trek fans wrote in a letter writing campaign to get it renamed to Enterprise after the Enterprise from Star Trek.
Oh. Huh.
Star Trek fans in the 60s and 70s were all about those letter writing campaigns.
I mean, what else were they going to do? Yeah. That's all they had back then.
Yep.
That's how the Karens got shit done.
Yeah.
All right. Finally done with Dustin.
There you go. That is.
But yeah, so she finally, and then of course once they leave, she like levitates the Falcon easily. Like so easily. She's like, nah,
she does.
I'm over it.
I'm not a clown here for your amusement.
Yeah.
I have a note about that, but I don't know if I wrote this out of order, but like Nancy asks someone, where's Barb? And they're like, shouldn't you know?
Yeah, she does in class when she sits down.
And then, yeah, it's when she's in class. And then when 11 is running around the house, I noticed
this was like a long time before I was born.
Yeah. Like,
why would I know this?
Yeah. When Elle was running around the house, I noticed, because we talked about it so much in the previous coverage, there is a second push button phone in the Wheeler household next to the lazy boy. Because we said last time, Nancy had a push button phone in her own room.
Yeah, they rich. Rich.
They've got a rotary phone in the kitchen and a push button phone on the table. Yeah, I was thinking that actually.
True.
Like if He-Man was on
reruns?
TV,
they went to reruns during the day?
No, they did like kids cartoons were on from like 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. before kids went to school, and then from like 3 to 5 after they got home from school.
That makes sense. That's when I would watch my version of cartoons, which was PBS.
I was thinking about that.
That's all I had.
It technically would not have been on TV at that time. If it was on, then everybody was on their way home. Like, but yeah, so there's another push button phone on the table next to the lazy boy. And then then He-Man. And then we go back to, is this my next note is about Hopper going to the facility.
I mean, we quickly have the scene when she's switching channels and she sees the Coke can, and that triggers her memory of when she crushed the Coke can. But that was pretty much it. The next scene is Joyce stringing lights all over her house. Then she goes and buys more lights. And then Hopper is at the lab. He investigates the hole ... in the ground. And then they check the videotapes, but there's nothing. But Hopper doesn't believe them because he's like, it was raining and there's no rain on those tapes. So
so why are they lying?
Why you always lying? And then we get a really quick scene of them kind of prepping for someone to go into the vine hole of the Upside Down, another hole, going into all the holes. And then Elle goes into Nancy's room and she kind of plays with the music box. That was a quick scene. Nancy asked Tommy about Barb at lunch and he's like, didn't see her. And then he's like, fucking asshole, like, who? Like, God, kids are the worst. Oh, you're muted.
I thought I clicked to unmute myself, but I didn't. Yeah, and that's the worst. That's exactly what she was worried about. Like people finding out and people spreading rumors and talking about it and them making fun of it is essentially the same thing.
Yeah, which I think they were probably just guessing. Like, I don't think they heard or saw or like, I mean, maybe they did, but I don't think Steve told them. That's always the vibe that I got. I just always, his friends at the time were dicks, but we'll see what happens. And Three Amigos talk about Elle's powers, and Dustin mentions X-Men and Green Lantern. That was cute. And then of course Lucas is like, she's not a superhero, she's a weirdo. I'm like, damn, I really forgot how much Lucas hated on Elle at the beginning.
He basically only, like, he doesn't refer to her throughout these 2 episodes. He only calls her the weirdo. Like, he doesn't refer to her as anything but the weirdo.
Which, to pick on someone that's different, I don't know, just there's some layers to that. Anyway, so the asshole bullies come up to them. I think one of them was Troy, right? And they say that Will was probably killed by another queer, and I'm like, oh my god, these kids are the fucking worst. And Mike tries to walk by and they trip him, and then back at school, which, Jonathan, like, you knew what you took pictures of and you're developing them at school when anyone can walk in. Bro.
Yeah, he must have thought like that nobody was gonna come in, and especially, I don't know if this chick was friends with those 3 or if so if she's friends, it's just he took a risk and he fucked up. That she just happened to walk in when he's doing that. But like, he tries to hide it, but clearly it does not work.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying she's not weird. I'm not saying that at all. But I mean, out of the norm, but also like I feel like we've learned over the years now, weird doesn't mean, bad. Like honestly, if you're normal, that's really fucking boring. So if you follow status quo, like why? Anyways, so yeah, the girl walks in. Joyce has completely covered the ceiling of her house with lights, which for someone who's kind of stressed about money, it's a lot of fucking Christmas lights to get, and
a new
I'm
phone.
sure, yes, and I'm sure back then, they were just as expensive then as they are now, because why are they so expensive? I don't get it. I painted them on my face for the low cost of 30 cents. I don't know how much. So then Karen Wheeler comes over, which of course her name is Karen. I always forget about that. And with Holly and the casserole. And then Hopper goes to the library, which the librarian calls him out for ghosting. And I was like, if that isn't the most Hopper thing.
I'm like, ever. I wrote down, Hopper's not good at the whole dating thing, is he?
No.
Because then he asked her out right there. I'm like,
I think he just felt bad, so he wanted to like cover up his tracks and not seem so shitty. I don't think he genuinely wanted to ask her out. I think he was just playing fixer-upper.
Yeah.
The librarian could get it. Those boots, though. I missed that. I missed her boots.
I didn't notice.
Yes, she does work at the store, so there's credit, which she's literally like tells her boss, like, come on, give me the credit. Like, my son is missing. Okay. Sorry. I was getting distracted by the comments. So yeah, they look at newspapers on Hawkins' lab. Karen and Joyce are talking, and while they're talking, Holly goes into Will's room following the lights, and she sees the Demogorgon through the wall. And I'll actually save that line for later, but I liked Joyce's line right after that. And then Nancy calls Barb's mom to see where she is, and she's like, wasn't she with you last night? And then she kind of plays it off, and her mom's like, just let me know where she is. I'm like, wouldn't you be a little concerned about your daughter as well? I don't know. Crazy thought, but maybe it's something of the 80s, I guess.
I get the feeling that Barb particularly does not misbehave. So like she doesn't sneak out, she doesn't skip class, like so her mom probably knows that and doesn't have any reason to think like when Nancy tells her, I remember she's at the library.
You're not wrong, but guess what? Newsflash, even if you're a good kid, parents are still gonna think you're up to shit, because
that's fair.
Did that change my parents from thinking I was up to shit, even though I never did anything wrong in the first 18 years of my life? No, I was still fucking, what's the word? Fuck, why can't I think of the word? Suspect number one. The fuck is that term?
Public enemy.
Come on.
One?
What?
Public enemy number one?
Sure, yes. There we go. We got it. Miscreant. Yeah, no. I was doing all the drugs. I was doing all the things, even though I was home after school, like all the it was the whole thing. Anyways, there's definitely no trauma in that at all.
No, none, absolutely.
Stephen Coe stopped Jonathan after school to look at pics, and they steal his bag.
I think this is
prime
the right
suspect,
one. Prime suspect.
But also what you said, which I already forgot.
Public enemy number one.
Public enemy. Because I was thinking of the Harry Potter.
America's Most Wanted.
The Harry Potter poster where he's like, wanted #1. So yeah, they steal his bag, and then Nancy
Most
walks
wanted.
over. Yeah. And Steve is like, oh, like perverts are hardwired this way, which I'm like, I wonder if Lonnie, his dad, there was something with that, which I can't remember now. Yeah, Miss Grant. Just highlight all of the ones. Thanks, guys.
Same, Derek.
Yeah, and then Steve rips up all the pictures and drops his camera, which I was like, oh,
Like,
cameras have always been expensive.
Yes,
Like,
especially SLRs
probably
with
Jonathan
interchangeable
probably
lenses.
Jonathan probably saved up so hard for this camera. I was just like, fuck, I forgot how much of a dick Steve was.
I mean,
God damn it.
But also, so I used to work in photo labs and camera stores back in the day. One, those SLRs were tanks, so dropping the camera wasn't going to do anything. Worst case, the lens breaks. But if Jonathan was a photographer worth his salt, he would have had a UV filter on the end of the lens, so that would have broken. The lens itself wouldn't have broke. And it's the early 80s, so I don't think it's an autofocus camera. So he's probably okay. Also, they rip up the photos and take them, but dude's still got the negatives. Like, he can just print more.
Yeah, that's because they're dumb.
Yeah, so.
Okay. He was creeping on them.
He was.
Don't think that justifies doing that, because he literally explained to them, I was trying to find my brother. No, he shouldn't have taken those pictures, but like, also his brother is missing. I don't know. Give him like a little bit. If anything, yeah, delete the negatives, or delete them. But
it's
get rid of delete.
There wasn't
like, delete on them.
So like there wasn't malicious intent. Like, they say he was stalking. He wasn't actually stalking. He was going after his brother and stumbled upon them.
Which, thank God he took those pictures though, because then they see the Demogorgon.
But he definitely should not have stayed there and continued to take pictures.
Which also, she's not naked, so it's her back and her bra is still on.
Regardless, he was taking photos of them without their consent, which is wrong. Exactly. And he should not have done that.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, not condoning that.
Yeah.
It's a whole complicated thing. Anyways, moving on. Nancy stays behind and helps Jonathan, and she kind of picks up some of the pictures, which she kind of randomly grabs some pieces that happen to all be for one picture, where she puts it together later, which I was like,
lucky.
Okay. Yeah, definitely a thing that only happens in movies and TV shows. Ella's waiting by the power lines, which triggers, she sees this cat, and it triggers her memory of when she was supposed to, I'm guessing, hurt this cat.
That's what I'm assuming.
In front of her, which is fucked.
I think that the goal was for her to do to the cat what she then did to the guards who threw her in the cell. And that's why, like, he picked her up and took her out, because she displayed what he wanted her to display. Her ability to just go and break a dude's fucking neck.
Mm-hmm.
She's dangerous.
It's so badass, though. Fucking love her. Yeah, so she snaps the neck. He carries her out. And then Elle asks Mike why they hurt him. And he lies at first, and then he tells her about Troy tripping him. Which, yeah, I was like, wait, why are you trying to pretend like it was nothing? I mean, I kind of get it, but still. And then Nancy goes and checks out Barb's car and Steve's house, and that's when she sees a like faceless creature or person running past. Mm-hmm. Something happened that's bingo.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's talking about. What's a bingo, Derek?
We'll find out. At Joyce's, the lights start going off. It follows them and she follows them to a cabinet and starts asking questions, and they illuminate, but then they stop. So she puts the Christmas lights on the wall and puts letters under each of them, which is what I did my makeup after, once again.
Yeah,
so
I'm
proud
curious.
Of it. I didn't add the letters because it would have been too much.
I have how is Will communicating written down, and I know how he's communicating, like he's making the lights, but like how did he figure out what he needs to do to make them flash to like does I don't know. Yes.
Poor Barb. I don't know either. Yeah, hashtag justice for Barb. I don't know either. I mean, we kind of yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, paints the wall with letters. Nancy tells her mom how she's worried about Barb at the library. I wrote down,
is she finally gonna tell the fucking truth?
Not yet. At library, there's reports of like mind control and shows Dr. Brenner, and Hopper's like, this is some CIA sanctioned research going on here. And the three amigos and Elle go to Will's, which they're like, why the fuck did you bring us back here? Like, this helps nothing. And she says he's hiding. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she says he's hiding, and they're like, no, this is where he lives. Well, do they not realize? I get it, they're fucking like 10-year-old kids. Do they not realize that she took them to Will's house without ever having been there herself before? Like, that didn't occur to them? Like, nobody told her. I know, I get it. I understand that. But like, hey, she doesn't know where she doesn't know where Will lives, and she took it there.
That's a good point, Derek. He says, am I the only one who thought it odd that Nancy's run-in with the Demogorgon seems to be the only interaction with it during the day? That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, you've watched the rest of the season, Johnny.
Yeah, I don't recall any other.
I mean, I think it's just part of the trope that these things usually happen at night.
Yeah.
I think it just to make it spookier. I mean, still scary as fuck during the day, don't get me wrong. But yeah, so then the cops go by, so they follow. And Joyce has Will spell out things, and he says he's right there, and then says to run, which I love that moment. And I always thought that they communicated a little more first before he said run, but like, oh, that's so epic. And like the music, because like, you know what he's like, once he hits the R, you're like,
yeah. Oh, and the fuck. Like the sting, I'm like, oh, she needs to leave. Well, no, first I actually thought he was going to spell out right here. Like it was going to go RIGH, but he didn't spell that.
Say it again.
Yeah. And then it went to the U, and I'm like, oh, he's going to tell her to run.
Yeah, crazy shit. And then cops and the kids go to the quarry. There's a kid pulled out of the water. The kids don't know if it's Will or not, and Lucas is like, it's Will. And Mike gets mad at Elle because he was like, you were supposed to help us find him before he died.
Okay. I have thoughts.
Okay, go.
I get it. I understand. Again, they're dumb kids. I fucking hate this type of manufactured conflict to just throw story off the rails. Like, it's similar to like when, like...
Go ahead. Also,
it strikes me similar to like two people in a room and person A kisses person B, and then person B's significant other walks in and like then refuses to talk to them and says they were cheating, like didn't let them explain. Like obviously 11 wasn't lying to them, didn't mislead them, but they jumped to conclusions, and now she's there. She fucking lied to them, and she's the worst thing in the world, and Will runs off in a huff. I get it, they're kids, but like, talk it out. It bothers me. I hate it.
Hey, Chef. to play devil's advocate, I have the horns on for it. I will say this kid just found out his friend died. And once they say this in the next episode, like, people deal with grief in weird ways and they lash out. Like, when you're stressed and anxious, like, you lash out at people, especially the people you care about the most. That's it. That's all I have to say.
It's a fair point.
Yeah. So Jonathan comes home to a sobbing Joyce. Mike, runs home and cries to mom. End of episode.
I think Quip has a good point here, because
yes,
the way the lights started to go crazy in the room when she was in there, and then I don't think that was Will.
Yeah, no, that was definitely the Demogorgon. Any other thoughts on this episode before we go into episode 4?
No. The only other thing I have, like, when the part that made me laugh, when they're at the library and Hopper's talking to his partner and the librarian about, like, finding the papers, and he's like, tells the librarian, why don't you start with the LA Times, like, assuming that she's going to help them, and she's just like and turns and walks off. Like,
yeah,
dude,
that was good.
Yeah, that's the only other thing
yeah. The line that I purposely didn't say is Joyce saying to Karen, thank you for the casserole, but I need you to leave.
Yeah. I was like, why kick her out? Like, she didn't even get the answers that she wanted from Holly. Because she asked Holly if she saw something, and I think it's Holly's
like
only
4-year-old kid. What answers are you gonna get?
She said, yeah. Well, I think it's Holly's only speaking line. Joyce is like, did you see something? And Holly's like, yeah. Like, and Joyce is like, what did you see? And Karen's like, what's going on? And then Joyce is immediately like, Karen, thanks for the casserole, but you need to leave.
Yeah.
All right.
She's very assertive. All right. Episode 4 is titled The Body. So we start at Joyce's house, and it's kind of like a blur haze, which they do a lot in TV shows and movies to just show the, like, chaos and the fact you're in this, like, bad emotional state that everything just kind of blurs and blends together. So I think they did a really good job with that. So yeah, so Hopper tells Joyce about the boy. He tries to calm her down and said, because she's like, I just saw him, like, right before that. And Hopper's like, I saw Sarah after she passed away too. Which I was like, sure, but this is different. Like, as we know now, it's different. And then Joyce gets an axe and just sits on the couch waiting.
Yeah.
And the news is now saying that it was Will's body. Mike is still mad at Elle about everything, but she finds Will on the radio.
Yeah. So again, I wrote Joyce would seem absolutely fucking nuts if we haven't seen what she saw. And how the fuck has that kid stayed undiscovered in that house for days?
The Wheeler parents are shit.
Yeah, apparently. Like, days, literal days. She's been sleeping in their basement and they have no fucking clue.
That would never have happened in my household growing up. My household, LOL. Let's see. Jonathan wakes up Joyce. Mike asks to stay home and calls Lucas, because he's, distraught. And Joyce and Jonathan go and see the body. She asks to see a birthmark, and then she's like, that's not my son. That's like a thing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, like, the birthmark was not there, because they don't show us whether or not the birthmark
I'm guessing
was there.
It wasn't, but also she should have said that. Like, that's not him. He doesn't have his birthmark. then like
Again.
people wouldn't think she's so crazy. Like, is that, or it could have been, but she just, you know, knew. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says Wheeler parents are, yes, shit. The 80s were kind of fucked, especially in the Midwest. Last time I mistakenly said like, because it's Nebraska, and I was saying, what did I say? Kentucky? Like, same area? No, they're completely fucking, like, one is like under the Great Lakes and one is like the center of the country. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was
Indiana.
thinking, yeah. Or wait, what? Where are they?
Hawkins, Indiana.
They're in Indiana.
Yeah.
I thought it was Nebraska. So then, wait, I'm
Johnny?
confused. Yes.
How long have we been friends now?
I don't know.
Do I ever say something unless I know I'm
It is Indiana.
95% correct? I don't know. And I told you last time it was Indiana too. You
so then I was forgotten. Right. Maybe I thought it was Nebraska. No, it was the opposite. I thought it was Nebraska, and it is Indiana. I was misremembering. Mm-hmm. And I said they were same part of the country. I was thinking of Kentucky when I said Nebraska, because Kentucky is right under Indiana.
Geography is hard.
Nebraska is all the way over by Colorado. It's north of Texas, Kansas. Yeah,
very good. Right, smack dab in the middle of the country.
Everything past the Great Lakes.
What Nebraska is known for. It is a rectangle, and it is smack in the middle of the country. Yep, it's a flyover state, as Derek just said.
Yeah, everything from the Great Lakes west to the West Coast is a fucking blur.
Well, fuck you.
Well, I know the fucking West Coast, California, Oregon, and Washington.
There's only 3 states. How do you get that wrong?
But everything between that and the Great Lakes is just fucking, I don't know. It's there.
Johnny.
Anyway.
Nancy tells Steve about what happened at his house. Jonathan tries to talk with Joyce to kind of like, you know, snap her out of it. The 3 amigos and Elle argue over a voice that comes through and if he's alive. They need to take Elle to school, so they dress her up, which that outfit she's in is very iconic.
Mike putting makeup on her is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, which if you've never touched makeup before, you will not know what to do.
Yeah.
And even if you have, like, yeah, trust me, as someone who obviously does a lot of makeup, like, it's not cut and dry and obvious what to do. Even I will admit that. And at Hawkins' lab, they're sending a dude into the Upside Down, which that wire that they put him on reminded me very much of in the Lost World Jurassic Park, the same kind of really thing that they used to pull the cars and the RV thing back up. And I was like, oh, that's never good. Those things never work out well. What was the name? What did you call it?
A winch.
Okay.
They're on the front of Jeeps sometimes.
Yes. So it's on the front of the Jeep in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a winch.
Yeah. Okay. Don't call me winch.
Different vowel. Close. Different vowel.
Yes, I know. Nancy gets questioned about Barb's disappearance, and she's like, I saw a bear. And cops are very not victim blaming. I couldn't think of the right word of Nancy when they're like, oh, so you went upstairs. Like, they were just like assuming things, which I'm like,
very presumptuous.
Sorry. She's in high school.
Yeah.
Fuck the fuck right off. She's a minor. Go suck my dick. I just thought that was like vastly inappropriate, but you know, they're cops, so. Gary tells Hopper how it was Stades that took care of the body, which he thought it was weird since it was just a random kid. Kids bike to school, really bad acting when teacher finds them. They're like, we are upset. I loved that. I loved the bad acting by the kids.
Yeah.
And
Bad place. Sweden.
yeah, teacher asked where Elle's from. She's like, bad. I loved that line. So good. But yeah, Karen goes off on Nancy for sleeping with Steve. And I was like, lady, that's not the fucking point of what's going on right now. Once again. So yeah, she finally admits it. Nancy looks at Pick torn up and notices shadow thing on the side. Yes,
hang on. But Nancy is lying, and she's doing the same thing she was mad at Steve about at the beginning of the episode. Because Steve was like, just don't talk about the beers. And she's like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, and his point was the same thing. Like the beers don't work into Barb being missing. And she got pissed off at him for talking about that. And then she did the same goddamn thing to the cops by leaving out details.
Wait, what did she leave out though?
Well, she lied about what she was doing with Steve.
But once again, what did that matter to Barb being missing?
It didn't. But that's not the point. It's the point is she got mad at Steve for suggesting the same thing.
Thank you. Thanos,
I know they don't. I'm not saying that they do. I'm just saying don't be a fucking hypocrite and get mad at him for suggesting to leave out details and then do it yourself. That's all I'm saying. They're right. They don't. It's inconsequential to the fact that Barb is missing. But don't get pissed off that he suggests you leave that shit out. And then do it. And then get mad at your mom for calling you out on it. Am I wrong? You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole. I know. Doesn't fucking matter.
Right out of my mouth. I think because maybe this is having a lawyer as an uncle, but like if it doesn't matter to the story, like to what actually happened. Sorry, Brick. Brick, hope you feel better. If it doesn't matter to like what the fuck is happening, don't say it because cops will get you on whatever. And who knows what back then was the statute of limitations for sex. So just saying. Cops are poopy. Anyways, let's see. Shepard is in the upside down, says something else there, can't pull him out. Bye-bye, Shepard. He went bye-bye. The assembly for Will, bullies are laughing. Mike confronts them and they say, oh, Will's flying around with the other fairies, happy and gay. And Mike pushes him and then Elle makes him pee himself, which was fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, I wrote down fuck them kids X2 because I wrote fuck them kids when Nancy was lying to the cops because they're all awful. And 11 had the sassiest, like she wipes the blood away from her nose and then turns, like just the sassiest move.
I love sassy Elle. She's great. Okay. Let's see. Jonathan is looking at coffins, which the guy's like, I don't know what your budget is, but like, let's look at these like copper and brass ones or something like that.
Yeah.
And if I was Jonathan, I'd be like, no, I can't do that. And Nancy comes in to ask about Pick and if he saw anything, which, you know, he said like, you know, sorry about the pictures, which was good. And then, yeah, he's like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I didn't have like wide angle on, blah, blah, blah. You go pee-pee in your pants, son. Let's see. Oh, Hopper is at bar talking about daughter's spelling bee with dude. Totally forgot about this scene. But
yeah, what was his fake accent? Like
Hopper?
Yeah, he was putting on some kind of like
I didn't think it was an accent. I think he was trying to sound drunk.
Oh, like, maybe.
Yeah, tipsy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't say it.
I made sure that it was attributed to me and not you. You're welcome. That's like when now I could just think of when we did Marion, I'm like, I'd have shot those fucking kids. You're like,
And I was
you
like,
can't
Johnny,
say
don't
that.
say that.
I'd have stunned them. Stun, not vaporize, but
You gotta clarify.
absolutely would have phasered those kids. Anyway.
Anywho. So then this dude ends up being the one that found Will. And he lies about who owns the quarry, and that's when Hopper is like, "Joke's on you, fucker. That's not who owns the quarry. You've been got." And he like punches him outside, and there's a car watching him.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a state cop, Hopper. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. And then the kids and Elle use the radio to try to find Will. I put kids and Will use radio. I meant Elle. Not quite there yet. And then at the same time, kids, I'm dead. Oh yeah, to all my friends who just had babies, they have all told me I want to strangle them at many points. So yes, it happens.
I don't have any.
And at the same time, when they're using the radio to find Will, they're hearing this banging, which ends up being Joyce banging on the wall. And and then she sees him through the veil in between, world between worlds. And he's like, it's like home, but it's dark and empty. And the kids are also hearing us at the same time. But of course, because Elle doesn't quite know how to control her powers, she fries the radio, which I'm like, this thing was probably a little expensive and also maybe school property, so
I certainly hope it was school property and not the teacher's property, and that he's not out a bunch of money, because that would suck.
Yeah, but also knowing that we don't pay teachers enough and they buy most of the supplies for their classes and other things wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. Oh, Joyce clobbers the wall. It makes a nice hole in her wall. Nancy and Jonathan develop the photo showing the Demogorgon, which was epic. And Hopper breaks into morgue to check Will's body, cuts open the chest, and he is full of stuffing. He is a Build-A-Bear. Newsflash.
Yep.
So this is when I was like, so obviously the lab, Dr. Brenner, all those people know that Will's in the Upside Down and are trying to cover their tracks. But I'm like, how the fuck do they know that?
That's a good question. I don't know if they know for sure.
Hey, Oz. I never thought about that until just now, because also when I first watched it, and I've watched it since then, I don't know. What do you think?
They send his son in. I'm assuming that is Brenner's son that goes in. I think it was. That goes in the rift. The one that ends up not coming back out of the rift.
Shepard?
Yeah.
Wait, did you say someone's son?
I thought I was under the impression that was Brenner's son. I don't know why I was under that impression.
I was under that impression too. I've watched it 3 times, but the fact that his name is Shepard, that's a different last name.
Could be his first name.
Who the fuck's first name is Shepard? What are you, herding sheep?
There's people named fucking Tanner.
Tanner's
what are you doing? But it's the same deal. Tanner is someone who tans leather. And Hunter.
Wow,
first name's Hunter. What's that? They hunt things. They are a hunter.
I think it's a generic son. Just like saying you can be your grandson. Okay. It's a first name too. Get off my dick. People have weird names. We got it.
So, I mean, have you ever watched The Young and the Restless or The Bold and the Beautiful? You got characters who are named Ridge and Thorn. My mom's a big soap opera person.
One of my parents or one of our family friends, their daughter's name McKaylin.
Cooper.
So not Kayla, not Michaela, not Caitlin, McKaylin. And this was like 20 years ago. Yeah, I just highlighted that.
Oh, sorry. I just read it. So I was like, it's funny because I called those two out in particular. So yeah, Hopper is in the morgue, and I went back and wrote X2 after my "That's a state cop" Hopper, because he has no qualms about just fucking beating up stateies. Apparently, I liked his. Did I say O'Bannon? I meant. Oh, bam! And just decks him.
Yes. So good. That was actually the the clip that I recorded last night for my story, which I like forgot that's when he punched him, and I cut away just so he punched him.
It was perfect. I thought you did it on purpose.
No, just pure coincidence.
Happy accident.
I happen to have good timing.
I meant.
So yeah, Lonnie comes over to the Byers, which I forgot about this. Like I knew he was somewhat in season 1, but yeah, I forget what kind of happens after this with him. And which I think I just watched it again last year with my roommate. So it wasn't that long ago, but I don't think I was paying that much attention. And then the very last scene is Hopper going to cut through a fence, which I'm guessing is for the lab.
Yeah, Hopper is on a goddamn mission.
Yeah, which whew.
Yeah, whew. I wrote down because those headlights came through her
is on those mission.
Headlights came through the hole in the wall, and I thought that was going to be Hopper coming to tell Joyce that she was right. And no, it was fucking Lonnie. I was like, Lonnie, what the fuck?
Now he cares.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, his son died, so hopefully he cares. But, you know, people are pieces of shit.
Yep. So, yeah, that's all I have. I don't have anything else.
Any, like, favorite lines or moments or anything like that?
I think I talked about them already. The Hopper thing. Did I say O'Bannon? I meant, okay, bam. And then the Mike putting makeup on 11, like she flinches back the first time he tries to touch her with the brush. Yeah, literally. That's exactly
he cares about.
That's exactly how I typed it, Quip. Except Lonnie is all caps and then exclamation point, question mark, space, WTF. It's exactly how it is in my notes.
Are you reading each other's minds now?
Maybe.
Use the Stranger Things font. Yeah, Lonnie's a dick.
Yeah. We covered.
Yeah. Overall, what did you think of these 2 episodes? I know you've watched the rest of the season because someone had to get ahead of themselves.
Well, this is where I got hooked and was like, I gotta watch the next one. I gotta watch the next one. So they're good.
You were hooked after 4 and not 3.
No, I was hooked after 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
3 was where I was like, well, I gotta watch the next one, and then 4, and then I watched all of them. So, yeah. But I made sure that I took notes in the way that, like, I put down things that, like, thoughts I had before seeing the other episodes.
Yeah. 3 definitely hooks you. And who was right?
What?
About you being hooked into it? And that was really good.
I mean, yeah, I didn't like, yeah. At the end of episode 2, I was like, meh. Like, it's okay. I don't know that I'm gonna, like, I'm not chomping at the bit to watch episode 3. And then I watched episode 3 and I was like, fuck, I gotta watch 4. And then I gotta watch 5 and so on and so forth. So yeah, you were right, Kayla.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I care about. Words of affirmation. Thank you very much. So did you put in after 4 like predictions? Any predictions at all? Before you escalated quickly?
Yeah, I knew, like I said, that's not Will. Like, well, for episode 3, I was like, that's not Will. Like, that was a prediction. Like, I'm like, I know that's not him. And I wrote, when he was on the table at the beginning of the episode, I wrote fake body. My predictions are more for like later in the episode itself than they are like overarching for the whole series.
Got it.
But yeah, like that was not Will. Like, I don't know why I was so sure of it. I just wrote it down. I'm like I'm like, Joyce, I just know. And because we see her perspective of things, like if we didn't see Joyce talking to Will through the lights and getting answers, it would be hard to believe that he was not dead and she was just fucking nuts.
Yeah, totally.
And then that was a fake body, and then he cut it open and pulled the stuffing out. I was like, I was right. It isn't Will. She was right.
I always forget about that stuffing part. I don't know why, but I do. I'm like, oh yeah, it was a stuffed body, which once again, don't know how they knew about Will being in there.
That's a good question. I didn't think about that aspect of it.
I mean, yeah, because the overlap between Will being in there and Elle being in there wasn't very long. Like maybe half a second. I don't know how long. Anyways, yeah, it's a good binge, especially season 1. It's just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Shall we go to spoilers without context?
Yes, we shall. And I named them in a way that this time yours will be first.
I really don't care.
But to be fair.
Okay.
To be fair.
To be fair.
So these are
Letterkenny.
Spoilers without. Let me see. Is there anything that matters? No. So I can do this.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Quip. Very true. This one's mine. Hashtag justice for Barb. I know it's not really a spoiler without context, but like hashtag justice for Barb.
Yeah, so she's dead, right? She's gone.
Yeah, she's dead.
So she was only in like 3 episodes of the show.
Also to do that for Allison. Hold on. It does raise the question, seeing as how manufacturing was much slower in the 80s, how prepared was the lab for the need to have fake bodies?
That's a good question.
Like real quick, like he's only been missing like a few days? I don't know how long actually.
I'm not sure exactly how long it's been.
Maybe like a week or something? I don't know. I mean, obviously Joyce, like that seems to escalate very quickly if you think of it in only a week, but I mean, it's your kid. You would be worried sick. Millennium Falcon toy, because obviously I Vector. And He-Man, which I put this in and then I rewatched it. I'm like, wow, that was like actually the scene.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean to do that. And then the lights, because of course the lights, which I also purposely liked the pile of lights because that's
yeah, like that's what she holds in the thing. Yep. Nice. So those are Kayla's. Here are mine. I had to go with
like boom, fake body.
Yeah. I had to go with the Charlie Day because, like I said, if we didn't know what Joyce saw, we would think that she was fucking insane. I will come back to the other one. And then the Christmas display for the Christmas lights, and then the Millennium Falcon for the toy
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, for the Millennium Falcon. And welcome to Silent Hill. Are you familiar with Silent Hill?
Nope.
Okay, so Silent Hill. In Silent Hill, there is the other world, which is a mirror of the actual world, and it's all like dark and dingy. It's basically the fucking Upside down to like the fog and like stuff floating through the air. So I don't know if the Upside Down is
I'm sure it's
very inspired by the Silent Hill Otherworld, but it seems really, really close to that, to me. It if they are not Silent Hill fans and didn't know about Silent Hill when they made the Upside Down, that's an amazing coincidence. Not saying that it's impossible, but it's very similar.
The Duffer Brothers do a good job with that shit, so I'm sure it's partially influenced by it, at least.
Which there's a bunch of different
Too much of a coincidence.
I use another Silent Hill meme later, but there's a video game series for Silent Hill and there's 2 movies. Okay, Quip says they knew.
Yeah, I think they knew.
So those are our spoilers without context for episode 1, and now we'll go to.
You mean episode 3?
Or episode 3? Yeah, episode 1 of this coverage. Episode 3. So. That's why I named them wrong too. I'm like, these are 1 and this is 2 because it's the first episode we're talking about and the second episode we're talking about. That's how my brain.
I mean, that's fair. I know what you meant. You also named this episode originally 1 and 2.
I did. So we'll go to the spoilers without context for episode 4.
I had to do E.T. dressed up because, that's 11 dressed up. It's like so awkward and obvious.
Yeah.
And then I just call it the Red Room, but to develop the film.
The dark
room. And then, the dark room. The classic Shining. Here comes Johnny with the axe because, Joyce just bashed in her fucking wall. And then I had to include Build-A-Bear stuffing.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. I didn't quite know what was going on there, and then that is the Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, they're big into horror and mystery. They originally pitched an It remake before they were denied and decided to make Stranger Things. Yeah, they know their shit. Yeah, Build-A-Bear stuffing. That was in Will.
I wish I'd have thought of the ET because that's great.
I knew there was something, and then I don't know. Something must have jogged my memory of ET. Anyways, those are mine.
So
those are yours.
I had to do Ferris Bueller for when Mike pretending to be sick and not wanting to go to school. And then Civil War era dress because that's what it fucking looked like she was wearing.
Oh yeah.
Her outfit was very 1800s. Bucky's journal because when they do the one flashback, there's words playing over the thing, much like the code words to activate Bucky.
Mm-hmm. And then, good one. Love that.
Silent Hill 4, the room. There's a hole in the wall. Just like the hole in the wall that Joyce put in with the axe. I almost used in Silent Hill 2, there's a wall where it just says in red paint or blood, it says there was a hole here. It's gone now. And I almost used that one. But the hole was still in the house. So
so many glory holes.
Yeah. Maybe I'll use that one when they fix
we
the
lost
hole.
2 people. Okay, your freshman bio teacher was in The Shining. That's cool. I just rewatched it recently because I watched Dr. Sleep for the first time. I watched The Shining for the first time last year, and now I love it. Even though I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And had to watch a million breakdown videos after.
I have watched it.
Oh. Yeah.
I watched it a long time ago.
Not the kind of hole in the wall.
Yeah, I have not really rewatched it. But I did watch Dr. Sleep again a while ago.
Wait, why are you saying you're still here?
Because you said we lost 2 people.
Oh. Okay.
Huh. Interesting.
That's cool.
And Dr. Sleep was
Ewan
Flanagan, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Mike Flanagan.
Yeah,
he was the director.
That's why I just watched it.
Yeah, House of Usher.
Mm-hmm.
Which I also finished.
Yeah, if you're not watching The Fall of the House of Usher, go watch it. It's really fucking good. Yes. Especially if you like other Mike Flanagan stuff like Dr. Sleep, The Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, Midnight Club. He does something every year. at this point, and this year he crushed it. I'm almost done watching, but at least from what I've watched so far, it's great. I know you finished it, Johnny. So yeah, we talked about the first 2 episodes on Friday, so go check that out if you haven't yet and you've watched it, and then we'll be talking about the rest of the series on Friday the 27th, so look out for that.
His earlier stuff is good too. Oculus and Hush are both really good.
He's done a lot of stuff.
Writer and director of both of those films, so they're a little easier to consume than the series. Although Haunting a Hill House was just fucking great.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. So
big fan. Oh, that would be interesting. My goal is to interview him, but not talk about The Shining at all until the very end. Oh, Danny, you were in a movie? The Shining, was it? Oh, very good. Honestly, that's great. I'm on episode 5. Yeah. Brick will join us on that one, and Allison and Tasia will be back as well. Very excited. The Shining. Yeah. Very excited, and we will be back talking about more Stranger Things Monday. What the fuck is that date?
That is the 23rd.
23rd. So make sure to tune in for that. Yes, Quip, go watch it now. Yes. Tune in for that. Same time, same place. And if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for watching. Make sure to smack that like and hit that subscribe. And if you haven't already, and leave a comment. Greatly appreciate that. That helps us out a lot. That's Willie's time. And yeah, if not, we will see you guys Monday. We will see you guys Friday to talk about episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Loki. So make sure to tune in to that. That is Friday. Wow, I'm forgetting dates again. What day is today? The 20th. Yes, the 20th.
But before that, Thursday
Trek
the 19th, Trek Retrek.
Every Thursday.
Yes. I don't remember.
Yeah, and if you haven't smacked that, if you're here and you haven't smacked that like yet, please do smack that subscribe, smack that bell icon, do all the things. Yes, Loki. Yeah, Loki is great. Great. Very excited to talk about it. I say that having only watched the first episode. I haven't watched the second one yet. I'm probably going to go do that now, actually.
You haven't watched the second one yet? Yeah, you need to watch it.
Well, because I was, a little preoccupied between our stream Friday night, and then I was watching Star Trek Saturday, and then I went to a sports game Saturday evening, and then I had the stream Sunday morning. Then we recorded Trek. Then I watched Stranger Things last night. When have I had the time? I gently rotated around the button. Yes, thanks, y'all. It's okay. Like, there's a lot of.
It's only 2 episodes, so it's not that far behind.
Yeah.
Oh, or do you mean haven't even watched the first season, Quip? Because that would be way behind.
But the first season is only 6 episodes, so, and it's really good. Well, considering they had these grand plans of going all around the world with it, and they really had to limit it because of COVID, they did a great job with what they were limited to.
I think officially we are unable to condone such behavior, but we can't stop you. So, your call.
Why can't we?
Oh, he hasn't seen season 1. I don't know. Yeah, you are way behind.
Oh, you're just. Go watch season 1. It's very good. Very good. Yeah, I think that's it. If you guys want to follow us, if you don't already on the social medias, you can follow us at GTFO channel. If you want to email us, our email is channelgtfo@gmail.com. It is the reverse of our I need to not make that motion. It is the reverse of our socials. Anyways, thanks everyone for geeking the F out about Stranger Things with us. Excited to watch more of it. Johnny has already done that. Ya poop. And until next time, everyone have a good one.
I almost was waiting for peace and long life and live long and prosper.
I know. I want to do peace and long life every time. Do the I wave my thumb if people haven't. And clipped. Yeah, someone's gonna fucking clip that.
Sweet.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good evening.